Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at Euphoria Season 2, Episode 2. This won't be a recap of everything that happened in the show like I always do. We're just going to talk about the things I like, talk about some things that happened in the future, and just try to decipher, did Euphoria come out with another banger of an episode? Before we go into it, please make sure you like this video. If you guys have been enjoying it, please make sure to subscribe for new. But let's talk Euphoria Season 2, Episode 2. So the episode begins with Nate's fantasy of Cassie, and a lot of characters had different fantasies in this episode, and I thought it was cool. I like when shows sort of go outside the realms of reality. We sort of get inside the heads of these actual characters, see what they're thinking of, in like this imaginative way. I thought it was cool. And it was very, let's say, graphic scenes of Sydney Sweeney. I mean, I think Sydney Sweeney's kind of hot. Not kind of, I mean, she is really hot. So there are some, good scenes in there like that. But, what this scene actually represents is, Nate's actual mentality of, like, what he wants in a relationship, and he's in that toxic relationship with Maddie for so many years, and now he kind of sees something that is actually good for him. And I think it sort of scares him, and that's why we'll see towards the end of this episode why he pushes Cassie away, because he doesn't really know what to do with these newfound feelings. We also get a scene between Rue and Jules as she introduces her to Ellie, or I think Elliot, right? It's not Ellie. And this will probably be an interesting dynamic for a couple episodes, as Jules thinks that Rue and Elliot sort of have like a thing now, because Rue can't tell Jules how they actually met, because then Jules wouldn't like it if Rue was back on drugs. And we all see that Rue and Elliot keep doing drugs together. It's not like just a one-time thing. I thought Jules was going to save Rue from doing drugs again. I thought maybe, now that they're back together, Rue would give that up. But as we saw, she's still hanging out with Ellie. She's still doing the same old thing. In this episode, we also get a lot more Maddie, as we saw that Maddie babysits for a lot of kids, right? She babysits for one woman who's played by Minka Kelly, which, I mean, I love Minka Kelly. I think she's like a great actress. She's in Titans recently, if you guys watch DC Titans. Pretty sure she was in Friday Night Lights as well, and plenty of other things. But to see her in Euphoria, I mean, it's great. I think, she's a cool addition. And there was some, like, weird, like, sexual tension here, right? As she asks Maddie to, like, unzip her dress, and she gives her a look. I wonder if they'll play into that. I hope this isn't the last time we see Minka Kelly. Like I said, I think she's a fun actress. And, I think that would be maybe an interesting dynamic between Maddie and Minka Kelly, but also kind of be, like, weird and out of place, as, we should really be focusing more on that Nate and Maddie relationship. Another fantasy scene we get is for Kat's character. I think she has two fantasy scenes in this episode. The first one is with that Viking one, right? Looked really cool, like on a filmmaking level, it looked great when the smoke comes. Her boyfriend gets like stabbed and all the blood spewing out. The Viking comes, and like pounds her. It was like, for Kat's character, it's kind of just representing like what she wants. She wants like that dominance. She probably feels like she deserves not to be like loved the way that she's loved by her current boyfriend. She's maybe sort of like Maddie, where she doesn't want anything sweet, but she knows that it's a good thing, so she's trying really hard, but she wants something else. And so, the show just shows us that in like this really weird, like graphic way again. And I thought it was fun. It was a funny scene watching her sort of like be scared of the Viking and then like submit to it. Like, it was a good way to interpret what that character is actually going through in her mind. We also see Cassie's side of things, as she's now scared of Maddie. As we know, she didn't, I think Nate and Maddie, they weren't together. But as we saw in the last episode, Nate and Maddie did hook up. And now she feels guilty about that. She was best friends with Maddie. And to see her actually being scared of Maddie, as we see Cassie being all anxious, and then we get to see Maddie being like brutal to like all these different girls. Another fun scene. After this, there's also a quick little scene where Rue and Elliot are talking, and she talks about her dad, and that her dad is dead. Someone in the comments confirmed this for me my last video. I thought maybe, if you guys saw the trailer for the rest of the season, Rue's like calling someone, and I thought maybe it was like her dad. I guess it was a detail I missed in season 1 that her dad was already dead. I thought maybe he just was in the picture or something like that, but it's confirmed here that he's dead. So that theory is like out the window. Another funny fantasy scene was with Kat, like I said. It was like this self-help scene, right, where it's like she is depressed by like the way she looks, and she feels down about herself, she feels shitty about herself, and she watches all the other girls who are like, hey, like, stop being shitty, love yourself, which is a big message nowadays. And I love that this show confronted it in this scene. Like, it was so well done. It was such a cool way to get this message across. How these girls are looking at other girls who are all pretty, telling these other girls who maybe aren't as pretty, to love yourself, even though like in her head she's like, how can I love myself, when she feels that way. And I guess it's sort of like, when she watches these girls, it's sort of like they're making it seem like those feelings aren't real, and like what she's feeling like isn't real. It's like society things. And then she's trying to say like, it is real. Like, this is what I'm feeling. Like, how are you going to tell me it's not what I'm feeling? It's like this cool thing that, well, I guess it's not cool. Cool is not the right word. But it was like this powerful statement for, I guess, like what these girls are actually maybe thinking when they watch these videos that come off as very fake and I mean, this could be a rabbit hole of a conversation just going down social media and its influence on this generation and all this other mind-boggling things. And I think that the show is able to convey all those messages in a quick fantasy scene that, again, I thought was really good. In this episode, we also had Coleman Domingo back. I love this guy. I mean, he just shows up in all these different shows. Recently, he was in Marini's Black Bottom with Chadwick Boseman. That movie was good. Zola, which came out last year. Candyman, he was in Candyman. Fear the Walking Dead. He just shows up anywhere, and every single time I see him, I always think he's such an underrated, great actor. And in that Rue special episode from season 1, where it's just him and Rue talking, I think he was able to convey his acting skills a lot. And his character is just very down to earth, sort of like that rope for Rue to hold on to, when she needs that safety rail for her, when she sort of, has her drug phase. At least she has that sponsor of his to hang on to. And, to see him back in here and to see that maybe he will become that fatherly figure for Rue, even though I think he already was, but now, he may actually become like her father, as we saw some flirtatious chemistry between the mom, Rue's mom, and his character. And I think that'd be a cool thing, I would like to see if Rue would reject that, if she doesn't want him as a father, to be in the house. I think it would be another cool dynamic for Rue's character. And then also after this scene, we get Nate and Cassie driving in the car. They go to the construction site. Nate tells Cassie that it's not going to work out. I sort of already talked about this, how this is Nate rejecting that feelings of probably being actually in love and not knowing what it's supposed to be like, because he's in such a toxic relationship with Maddie, so he just pushes Cassie away. But then as Cassie runs away, she obviously loves, or I don't know if she loves Nate, but she definitely feels something towards him, and she didn't want this to end like this. She actually wanted them to be together. So she runs away. Nate catches up. They make out or whatever. And it's probably gonna be like this for the whole show. I feel like they're never gonna actually come out as boyfriend and girlfriend. And my theory is that Nate and Maddie will end up back together by the end of the season. I don't think Nate and Cassie have that connection. I feel like Nate and Maddie's toxic, relationship will come into play towards the end, and they'll end up together. So let's talk about probably the best scene in this whole episode was Lexi going to Fez's store. I guess they should talk to him, right? But then once she sees Fez is with the drug girl, I forget her name, is in the background, she infers that Fez and her are together, because Fez even says oh, she's just a friend, staying at my place. And Lexi's this isn't the guy maybe I thought he was, or he's with this girl. So she's just looking for drinks. As she's looking, we see Nate's dad come into the store. And, at first I didn't know if he was just, if he knew Fez was the person that beat up, Nate, his son. But as we saw by the end, he confirmed it. He's why? He talks to Nate, and he's when are we going to tell me that some drug dealer beat you up? But with that scene in the store, the tension there was just so good. It was like a Mexican standoff, and seeing him with his hand in his pocket, the gun clicking sounds, making it seem like there was a gun in his pocket. I feel like he did go there to maybe, I don't think he was there to maybe shoot Fez, but maybe it's confront Fez, maybe beat him up, do something. But I think because he saw Lexi there, I think that sort of stopped him, because if he did kill Fez right there on the spot, Lexi she knows who you are and everything. He would have just went to jail. So even if he did anything, that's beating up a minor. I think Fez is under 18, right? I mean, I'm not sure. But he'd probably get some sort of charges for that. And maybe he'd even kill him. So because Lexi was there, I feel like he didn't do anything. Those two characters going head to head is going to be such an exciting thing about the show, and probably my favorite thing if they play on it really well. To see Nate's dad and Fez go maybe have this little war between them. Dude, that would be so sick, so interesting. And at the very end, we see Nate finally confronting his dad about banging Jules, and talking about the tape and everything, and the father's trying to apologize, and then Nate said I'm just trying to stand up for you. I love how everything that was sort of boiling up in season 1, all that stuff between Nate looking at the tapes, knowing about his father going behind his back, them never talking to each other about it. Finally seeing Nate just tell his father straight up, this is how it is. I know about all this. It was good, culmination of everything that happened in season 1. And then at the very last dialogue piece is Nate's dad asking if he has the tapes, and it shows Nate's face. As we know, Maddie has those tapes. I think Maddie took them right from Nate's room or something like that. And as you saw in this episode, Nate was trying to find them. He couldn't find them. So Maddie has those tapes. So it's is Nate's dad going to go after Maddie now? Is Nate going to lie to his dad and say that he does have it, or it's in a safe spot? Or maybe he lost them. He's going to say, is he going to rat out on Maddie? Because then Nate's dad is going to go after Maddie and maybe blackmail her or do something even worse. So my rating for this episode is a 4.1 out of 5. I think it wasn't as great as that first episode. Not as engaging in some places, but still a great follow-up to a phenomenal start to this season. And this episode, in a lot of ways, it was just a lot of fun to watch. Some great comedic moments here. I love diving into like the fantasy of these characters, getting into their mind. And Rue wasn't a big part of this episode. She has plenty of scenes, but this wasn't like a Rue focused episode. I think this was more of like a Nate / Cassie episode. Maddie's thrown in there as well. But next episode, The Trail, looks like it's going to be like a Rue episode. Looks like we'll see some fantasy scenes, what's going on in her head, and that should be really cool. But let me know, what do you guys think of Euphoria Season 2, Episode 2? Do you guys like it? Did you guys love it? You think it was better than Episode 1? What are you guys thinking of it so far? Let me know down below in the comments. Please make sure you like this video if you guys have been enjoying it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you all in the next video.